Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you wondering where are the best places to buy long-term food storage? Well, many of us go to the grocery store. We buy shelf-stable pantry foods, open and eat foods, easy to prepare packaged meals, and have a lot of easy to fix food combinations in our pantry. Then maybe you've gone to the bulk food aisle and you've purchased rice and beans, oatmeal, and package those away in clean canning jars, empty soda bottles, the recycling peat packages, and maybe you've even filled a few buckets yourself. A lot of that can be a lot of hunting, gathering, and a lot of work that we don't necessarily need to do, because you can buy foods that are already packaged to last for 30 years. I've bought a lot of the packaged long-term food storage that comes in number 10 cans. It's an easy size to store, to lift. The number 10 cans are already packaged to last for 30 years. You can rotate them through your food storage or set them aside and know that whatever happens sometime in the next 30 years, you have food that will still be good to eat. I think the very best place to buy already prepackaged 30-year food for long-term food storage is at the Mormon Church or the LDS Church. The Mormon Church sells the number 10 cans of food in 6-pack boxes, and they ship it directly to your house. You don't have to be a member of their church. You can go online and order the foods. I bought 6 packs of food from the Mormon Church for 10 or 15 years, and it's all been top quality. When I first bought it, they had a very limited selection of types of foods, but it was free shipping and you still got a 6-pack of food. I recently ordered some more and it was $3 shipping for all of the packages. I don't know where you're going to find someone that'll package things and ship it for that anywhere, because shipping is extremely expensive. What's nice about the long-term food from the LDS Church is they even will ship to Alaska, because there are some companies that will only ship in the lower 48, and there are some items just that you want to buy even on Amazon that are not eligible to be shipped to Alaska. So it's good to know that these foods are available and can be shipped easily to your house. I've bought things like the flour, the rice, oatmeal, apple slices, dehydrated refried beans, spaghetti bites, all different kinds. And I've opened a few of them to see what they're like, and they've been terrific. In fact, I was really glad that I had ordered the flour, because I had the flour for I think at least 10 years, and during this last winter there was no flour in the store, and I got out the flour, opened it up, and it was perfectly fine. When we first opened the can, it smelled a little like a tin can, but we left it open, let it air out, and then it was top quality, great flour, and it worked perfectly. Let's look at the website and we'll go over some of the products that they have, and you can see the availability. Just because it says it's out of stock now doesn't mean that it will continue to be out of stock. I keep checking back, and I've been able to continue to build my stockpile. You can't buy just one can, you have to buy a 6-pack, but if you look at them, they're very reasonably priced for the huge amount of food that you can get for your long-term food storage. Even if you could budget for one 6-pack per month and added it to your food storage, before you know it, you'll have a bountiful amount of food. The next best place I like to go to buy food storage is at Walmart. You used to be able in some of the Walmarts to go in and you could pick up the Augustin Farms number 10 cans, and they even had some pouches for a while and some larger buckets. I don't find those in the stores anymore, but you can still order the Augustin Farms on the Walmart website online, and it can ship right to your home. There were a few glitches with some of that this last winter, simply because there were glitches with a lot of food shortages, whether you were in the grocery store or shopping online. But these are also top quality foods that I highly recommend. They have a much greater selection of foods than the LDS or the Mormon Church, and their prices are pretty reasonable for the quality of the food that you get. While they have basic foods like rice and beans, They also have already prepackaged mix-up meals and things. Augustin Farms has the prepackaged buckets that you have several days worth, dinners for a month, things like that. When my kids first went away to university, I sent them with a bucket of food so that in an emergency, they always had something. It took up almost no room in their closet, and they had the emergency food in case something happened. Who would have thought that our university students this year would have been sent home from the dorm or quarantined in their rooms? So it's a great idea, no matter who you are or where you're going to be, to provide some emergency food. So when you're ordering the buckets, some of them might say 30 days of food or 7 dinners and 7 lunches, 7 breakfasts, but you need to look carefully because some of them are in a family-sized package of multiple meals in a bag. The ones that I was able to find for my children had individual packets, single serving sizes. Those are harder to find. But if you live alone, you want to send something to your children, or are not sure that anytime you need an emergency meal, you want to open a package and have to make a large amount, it can be easier if you can find them with individual smaller size packages within your bucket of emergency food. And just like the LDS or Mormon Church, the supply varies. So keep checking back. Next, you can buy long-term food storage on Amazon. Amazon products might include things like the Augustin Farms. You can also find individual items that aren't from necessarily a food storage company. You can find things like dehydrated peanut butter, and that's very good to have because that lasts a long time and it's really good. But it's not necessarily from one of these long-term food storage companies. If you live in the lower 48, a good place to buy emergency long-term food storage is Emergency Essentials. I have purchased their items when I've been in the lower 48, but they won't ship to Alaska. But I have been able to buy them and send them to family members that live in the lower 48 because I'm one of those grannies that has, surprise, here are some prepping supplies. And so far, it's been well received. Not everyone you're related to might appreciate getting an emergency selection of food in the mail, but luckily my family does. So let's look over the Emergency Essentials. They were completely out of stock on almost everything this last winter. At the beginning of this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, you couldn't get anything from, well, probably from any of these companies, but absolutely you could get nothing from Emergency Essentials. But a lot of their foods are coming back in stock. But just like the others, keep looking back. If there's something that you want, it'll probably come back into stock, or something new will pop up that you maybe didn't know about or they didn't have on their website before. Cabela's is a great place to buy long-term emergency food storage, especially if you also like to do camping or backpacking, or you're putting away meals for one. You can buy the Mountain House meals. They have huge selections of single-serve dehydrated meals. You just need to open the pouch, add some boiling water, stir it around, fold it back up, and let it seep and rehydrate, and then your meal is prepared. Most of them are servings for one. Some of them now are available for 2 servings in case you're extra hungry or you want to share your meal. They have also started making cans of Mountain House food, and they also have multiple day packages. The Mountain House meals are also delicious. I have eaten tons of their pouches from hunting and camping trips, and they are good. So they're a little more expensive than, say, having a box of top ramen, of course, but if you can afford to get some top quality meals, that might be something you even want to have in your pantry. They're an option to put in your bug out bag, but remember, you still have to be able to boil water and add to that. They're absolutely great if you're going to go camping, hiking, hunting. They're great for that. One long-term food storage that I do not recommend is the Wise Foods. I've bought them before and tried them, and they're really not very tasty. And some people in my family absolutely would not eat it, and they'll eat nearly anything. And they just weren't something that I wanted to count on having in an emergency when there are so many other foods that are better tasting. You also need to pay attention to what the serving sizes are and pay attention to the number of calories per day. Your long-term food storage should be providing 2,000, 2,400 calories per day per person. So pay attention to the actual calorie count. If you choose something that has 8 servings but only 1,000 calories, that's not even enough for one person for an entire day to get the nutrition that they need. And that certainly is not going to feed 8 people for one meal. Try giving yourself one of those little packages of 90-calorie snacks and see if that's enough for you for a meal. And I think you'll decide that you need a lot more food than that. So these are my suggestions on best places to buy long-term food storage foods, whether you choose them in number 10 cans, 6 packs of number 10 cans, buckets of food, or individual backpacking type meals. There's all kinds of variety, there's all kinds of flavors, all different kinds of foods, and then you don't have to worry about going to the store, bringing things home, and figuring out how am I going to store it to last, because that can be a very huge expense if you're needing to buy buckets, lids, jars, Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers. That is a big bunch of extra work, and it can be a very costly way to store your food. You may not be saving as much money as you think over buying food that's already packaged to last. If you have a favorite place that you like to buy the long-term emergency food storage, leave it in the comments so we can all learn from each other. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else who might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.